So on this episode of Talk Mortgage to Me, I'm with my friend, Ashley Bedford. Ashley is a top producing, when I say top producing, like top 0.5% mortgage broker out of Orlando, Florida. And we're going to be talking about how she helped two school teachers house hack their way into their own personal real estate portfolio, real estate, what would you call it, Ashley?
Their empire, really.
Their real estate empire utilizing VA home loans.
Yeah.
So walk me through the scenario.
So they were actually a Zillow lead to the realtor many years ago that she just followed up on, which is crazy enough anyways, because those don't always pan out.
Okay, so wait a minute. So for the audience who actually does loans for a living or sell real estate for a living, this relationship started because this husband and wife, who are both school teachers, went on Zillow to inquire about purchasing real estate.
They clicked the bobblehead.
They click the bobblehead, and then from there, they are introduced to a realtor.
Yeah.
And then that realtor introduced them to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now my favorite clients. But they had owned each their separate properties, two school teachers. And I'm not talking about like college level making hundreds of thousands. I'm talking like $40,000, $50,000 a year public school teachers.
In Central Florida.
In Central Florida, yes. So not California, Central Florida.
Not New York, where school teachers actually make a decent wage.
Yeah.
We're talking in Florida, where, I think Florida teachers start out in the low 40s.
Yeah, 40s to 50s on that. And so they each owned their own property before they got married, a condo and a townhouse. And then they were ready to utilize his VA home loan to buy a duplex. And they bought a duplex in Thornton Park. And anybody who doesn't know Orlando, it's a pretty affluent area that has grown, trendy area. And they're like, well, we'll just have a neighbor. And they bought that thing for a crazy low amount and have made hundreds of thousands of unrealized equity so far on it, shared a wall for a few years and said, okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right here. So they each owned their own property.
Yep.
Condo and a townhome.
Yep.
However, it sounds like they didn't sell the townhome or the condo when they got married.
They kept them.
So they kept the townhome, they kept the condo. So now they have two rental properties.
Yep.
They go and buy a duplex, which is 2 units.
Yeah.
So they live in 1 unit.
With no money down.
Oh, yeah, with no money down.
No money down.
It's a VA home loan.
Yeah.
So VA home loan. So that means he is a qualified veteran or he had to be in active duty. This guy wouldn't have been active duty because he was teaching school full-time.
Yeah.
So the assumption is he was prior military, qualified veteran. He has his VA home loan benefits.
Yeah.
They purchase the 2 unit or the duplex, live in one side, rent out the other side, but only for a short period of time.
So for the required 12 months, it was probably about 18 months on that one. And then they called and they were ready to go for the next one. And then they moved.
So did they sell the duplex?
They did not.
They did.
Rented the other side.
Okay.
We used that vacating rental. And then we bought another duplex.
Did he use his VA benefits for the next one?
He did, but we just had to do a small down payment because of our required amount, because thankfully his first townhome was not on the VA loan. And so they did use it to buy the next duplex as well.
So we're going to pause right there because I don't think enough people realize that, when you're utilizing your VA benefits for home loan purchases, it's not a one and done.
No.
Right? Like not only can you use it to buy your first home, you can buy it to use your second, your third, your fourth home, and it is possible to have multiple VA home loans on multiple properties at the same time.
Yes.
However, you will start running into some limitations, at which point you will need, and there's a mathematical formula for this.
Yes.
And we won't bore the audience with that formula.
It's too complicated.
It is way too complicated, but just know you will, depending on your scenario, if this is you will need to put some money down. So they went and bought not another single family home, but they bought yet another duplex.
They bought another duplex.
Was it bigger?
No. And actually it was a little further away, and we had to do a whole letter of explanation on how the average commute in Florida is 60 minutes, just we all know that's true. And it was probably honestly the same distance because they lived Thornton Park, which is traffic craziness. And so even though they were driving from Mount Dora area now to Orange County schools, we just wrote a letter of explanation how they were going to drive and so forth. And they really did. They moved into that.
So what I'm hearing is that you hit some headwinds.
Yes.
But as a great mortgage broker, you find a way to and you understand that as long as you can document it and as long as it makes sense, that a lot of times you can get a mortgage underwriter to see things from your point of view and to sign off on it. But the lesson is there are underwriters out there that their job is to assess risk.
Yeah.
Their job is to detect fraud. And the last thing you'd want someone to do is say that they were going to move somewhere full time as their primary residence and they never do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's occupancy fraud. And we don't want to do that. The FBI
100%. Yeah.
The FBI does not like that.
Don't do that.
But your clients, your borrowers, we call them in the mortgage industry, they did come up against some headwinds. An underwriter did want to question, wait a minute, you're living in downtown Orlando, which is Thornton Park.
Yeah.
You're moving to a more rural area, which is Mount Dora. By the way, beautiful area of Central Florida, but it's more rural.
Yeah.
And how do we know that you're not being fraudulent?
Yeah.
And you all were able to, just by writing letters and speaking the truth, get the underwriter to agree that it is reasonable for someone to live in Mount Dora, make the drive into more, let's just call it metropolitan areas in order to do what they do for a living, which is school.
And there's like Thornton Park, Soto area, which, is like the same thing, but for that. But I just had them write a whole letter out of what their goals and plans were for the future, because I'll smell out fraud for a second. Like, trust me, there's people that call us all the time like, oh, I'm moving here. Doesn't feel right. But this one, I know for a fact they're moving in. Well, thankfully, we were still in those COVID times because we're not done yet with house buying.
Okay.
We refinanced the first property to get that VA loan off it because rates were very low. So it was a perfect time still. So we refinanced out of that to get into conventional to free up some of that VA for another purchase.
Oh, I like where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay. So they didn't have enough eligibility to buy a third property using VA.
Yeah, another VA property.
Because mortgage rates have gotten so much better.
Yeah.
You, as the elite mortgage broker you are, you go and say, wait a minute, what if I refinanced, was it the townhome?
No, we did one of the duplexes.
Okay, you refinanced the duplex into a conventional, which then freed up eligibility for them to have more for future purchases.
And so we did. And so now they live in their first single family, which is crazy because they've shared a wall for so long. Like between even the townhome and the condo, I think you're sharing a wall all the time. Like, how do you feel being in your first single family home, not sharing a wall?
So your clients are both school teachers.
Yeah.
Both making $50,000, $60,000 tops, right? Possibly less if they're less experienced in terms of their profession. They own a home that they live in. That's a single family home.
Yeah.
And then do they now own 2 duplexes plus a condo and a townhome?
So the condo they sold, I think about a year and a half ago, only because of the condo market in Florida currently.
Yes,
so
makes sense.
Freed that up just because of assessments, so forth. But they own a townhome, 2 duplexes, and a single family.
Wow. So they have 5,
and they're not done yet.
They have 5, what we call in the investor world, 5 doors.
Yes.
Right. They have 5 different addresses that are collecting rental income.
Yeah.
Plus they have their primary home.
Yeah.
And they're not done yet. Do you think they will take their primary home and turn that into a rental?
I do. And I think they'll actually will probably at some point refinance. Even though we'll lose the rate, they want to build into something else. Like, we're going to lose that really low rate that I got them on one, but they want to build it. And I asked her before sharing the story, I said, what's one thing you would have do differently? She said, I would have been more aggressive, quicker.
Yes. Most of us say that, right? Yeah. You're probably looking at your mortgage career or my mortgage career. Like, what's something you wish you would have done different is when I found something that worked and do it more.
Yeah. And quicker.
Sooner. Yeah. And do it quicker.
Because we always say the best time to buy was yesterday, but now it's today.
Yeah.
Like, we got it. And so they would have immediately done it quicker because they see that this is the long term to retirement. Like, they don't want to teach forever. No one wants to teach high school and middle school kids forever.
No, but they can teach for 15, 20 years.
Yes.
Potentially teach long enough to get somewhat of a pension from the school system while acquiring properties. They're having tenants right now are paying their mortgage off. They can fast forward after teaching 20, 25 years, be in a situation where they have 5, 6, 7 properties paid off. Those properties are worth well over $2-3 million in total, and they're bringing in an additional $7,000 to $8,000 net income every single month.
And a key to this, what you're saying about that net income, is making sure you don't find some crazy stuff to write off on your tax returns too. Because I always say your CPAs are paid to make sure you're paying Uncle Sam the lease, but you also need to qualify. So they've always been very diligent on making sure to claim all that rental income, pay the taxes on it, so that they could qualify for the next property.
So that right there reminds me of the importance of having a great lender like you in their life, because it takes a great lender to be thinking that far in advance. Most lenders are very transactional. They care about that one transaction. You're like, no, this is a client for life.
Yeah.
How do I help you amass this massive portfolio while keeping in mind that I need to help you qualify for this home loan, but the next two as well?
Yes.
So you make sure that they consult with a good CPA and that CPA understands mortgage lending.
Yes, and connecting with that CPA to make sure we work together. Like, hey, what is your plan for this year or your goal for this year? Or keeping receipts for repairs so we can add them back in. All those different things just to make sure that their goals are met for the future, because I don't want to tell them no.
Yeah. So check this out. If you're an active duty military or you're a qualified veteran and you think of yourself as someone who wants to also put together a real estate investment portfolio, know that there is a way to yes, but you need a great lender like Ashley Bedford in your back pocket working on your behalf in order to make your dreams a reality.